Hey riders, here's a little video from a couple of days ago. I decided to do some sightseeing, just selecting my bike here. Was on the Trek Madone. We are in Spain, Alta de la Colladona, so I went with the Fesca La Vuelta bike, the Spectre. Bike at the purchase a few months back, the lightest climbing bike on Rouvy. So what we've got here is we're just going to shorten the name up. Video sped up as usual, just to not take up your whole day when you're watching these. La Colladona, the route is 10 kilometers long with 517 meters of climbing, so 6.2 miles and say 1,600 feet of climbing. Nothing too killer, but just enough to get a nice, hard, intense workout in, start banking, building up those climbing meters. I know a lot of people are doing that, trying to go for their records and how much they can climb this year. That's right up my alley, so I might start doing the same thing. So browsing around on Rouvy, found this route. Sorry to say, I'm also riding with, sorry I forgot to say is what I meant to say there. I'm riding with 4 Ghosts. We're in just ride mode, 100%. That's the way to do it. You'll get a little bit of a draft at times. You can see right now I'm getting draft up on the top here. I think I do change my map view a bit, or sorry, my camera view. Seems like I'm a little bit too far away. But you know, yeah, here I am doing it right here. I was looking at the challenges and nothing really inspired me to do anything. I think I did this ride Saturday morning. So I like to kind of tread on the beaten path, go do my own thing. Sometimes I like to ride with people and other times I like to do my own thing. So I found this route. This is in northern Spain. It's in the province of Asturias. Now, Asturias, I found out, is a self-governing principality. And I'm like, I don't even know what that means. It means I know you're kind of autonomous, but you're also part of Spain at the same time. A little further reading and digging, I read some stuff about Asturias being conquered in 30 BC or something by Augustus during the Roman times. Asturias has been around forever, so I get kind of why they're like a self-governing area. Probably like a big history here, lots of kings and queens from the old days. But anyway, enough about that. So the route we're doing today, La Colladona, goes from north to south. We basically bisect at a perpendicular angle the small range of mountains here called the Cantabrian Mountains. Hope I'm saying that right. Gave it my best shot. So these mountains run east-west across the very north end of Spain, kind of like right where it bumps into the Atlantic there. What's also interesting is that they call that part of the Atlantic the Cantabrian Sea. I've never heard that sea before. Kind of think I know my geography, but it's a very local name to the Spaniards that live there. So I think Asturias is right beside like the Basque Country. These mountains too are really cool because they're like a barrier to the really hot wind that comes out of the south. So it was saying online that this whole province of Asturias doesn't suffer from the heat waves that the rest of Spain does. That's because these mountains, just the way they're positioned, the geography of the mountains running east-west, kind of stops all the southern winds coming out of the Mediterranean and North Africa, and they can't get over top of the mountains, leaving the weather on the north side cooler. Now, I don't know how cool. It's still Spain, still probably quite hot there. But I thought that was just a cool, interesting fact. So yeah, this ride here, you can see false flatty at the beginning, and I'm just kind of getting out of the false flat stuff now. So, you know, looks like I'm about 3 kilometers in, and we're just going to kind of start the climb now. I've done a good job here holding my power around 270 watts. I thought, let's just ride at 3 watts per kilo. Not much of an endurance rider. Hey, we're passing the tractor here. Hopefully there's no cars coming the other way. See, the farmers are out doing their thing. A couple things I want to say. I've done a ton of commenting this week on the Muckers races, Muckers Worldwide. I've had such a blast doing that. A lot of fun. I'm going to try to do, will definitely be doing more. I'm going to expand and do some other races if I can too, as long as they fit my schedule. And by that I mean, you know, we're all in different time zones. So some of these races are going off and it's the middle of the night for me. So if it's a morning race in the UK, it's very hard for me to cover. But the Muckers races at night were good for me. They're right noon. And I've been doing the videos as premieres the next day. Awesome to see everyone come into the live chat and give me feedback as to what I'm doing. I'm really trying to grow the racing scene here. I think the commentary adds a lot. In fact, I was watching, I think it was stage 5 of the Tour Down Under a few nights ago. It was on YouTube, and it was Wollonga Hill, like probably the most exciting stage in the course. And obviously because they've got the TV rights licensed out to different broadcasters, they're probably all getting the same feed, and they're doing their own audio, like a French audio, a Spanish audio, an English audio. Well, this one had no audio, so all I could hear was like the people clapping their hands going by, a dog barking. And to be honest, it was the most boring thing I've ever seen in my life. So it just kind of lets you know how much the audio commentary adds to a race. I guess it would kind of be like going to a baseball game and having no color commentary in the background, no announcers, just watching the guys throw the ball around, hit the ball. No, hey, the background stat on this guy is blah, 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 those types of things. So I'm hoping by doing this, we can get more people involved in racing. Racing can become a bigger scene on Rouvy, because I think it's doing well, but we can make it a lot better. So yeah, we're hanging out in northern Spain here. Lots of great climbs. One interesting fact I learned is Fernando Alonso comes right from this area. F1 driver, probably one of my favorites. I think he retired for a couple of years and did a show on Prime Video, and now he's back racing, which is pretty unbelievable. Superstar driver, of course. So if you like these videos, you like the commentaries, subscribe if you want. It's Inside Cycling World. That's my channel. Like, comment. But ideally, the best thing you can do is probably share with friends and stuff. That's a huge way of supporting the channel. The channel's growing really good right now. Seems like there's a lot of interest. People like what I'm doing, but I'm just kind of doing this by the seat of my pants. So I'm going to do some races. I'm going to do some of these off the beaten path climbs. Hey, and back to this off the beaten path climb here. So this ride route first came out in 2020. And I'm sure a ton of people that are long-term Rouvy subscribers have probably done it. But what I thought was really cool when I rode it on Saturday, which would have been January 20th, found the route. This looks pretty good. It's got nothing to do with the challenges. I'm still going to get XP. I'm still going to get coins. You can see my XP accumulating in the top right corner right now, the little green number, 92. Was that in all of January of 2024, there's been 4 passes, including mine. So in 20 days, only 4 people had found this course. Now, to make it even worse, 2 of those rode for only 8 minutes. Definitely not an 8-minute climb. So they just kind of jumped on and jumped off. So only 2 people took their time to ride this really cool climb. This would be a really good little route for potentially, maybe it would be too long for our Sunday short races, but it's not that long. It's only 500 meters of climbing. This is not going to take you hours to do. There's like 7-8 percenters. There's quite a few flats. There's places where the bigger, stronger riders can get away. They might get away at the beginning. Some of these smaller, lightweight climbers, you have to leave them as quick as you can. Just some thoughts on this. I really like doing these off the beaten path ones. I don't know if this is a hidden gem. Could be. I make up the rules, right, for this stuff. These are my names. But if it's not a hidden gem, it's definitely a classic that people need to revisit. So I'm hoping by showing you this video, you'll get the urge to take this one on again. As I said, feel free to use my avatar. Just all you need to do is set up a virtual partner in Just Ride and pick out my name. It's on screen there, Colin Emerson. Just do what you can. Let's get out there and get this ride going again. It's a really fun climb. Jumping to map mode here, you can see how rugged the terrain is. It's all over. Hey, I was doing some more research. No idea. And, if you're from Spain and you know the area really well, I apologize. I had no idea that there were still bears floating around this part of the world. There's actually an Iberian bear, which I think is a type of brown bear. It's just a subspecies. and super protected. I think I saw something online that says if you get caught shooting and killing a bear, it's like a 300,000 euro fine, something like that. I think the estimated number left is about 300 of these guys. So they need to be protected. And even better, there's wolves here. But I never would have thought that. I guess coming from Canada, you think of Europe as being quite small compared to what we have here for space. Like bears and wolves are normal here. And I always think it's crowded there, but it's amazing that those animals are still here in these mountains right here, in these Cantabrians. Again, hope I said that right. Hey, and I also want to point out something here too. Just a little shout out to one of the subscribers who I think has been here since the very beginning. I wish I could find out when he subscribed, because he's been very supportive of my channel, always dropping nice comments to me, like just motivating things to keep me going. His name is John Hallis. John posted on the Rouvy Facebook page on Saturday morning. It was an awesome post. He's put together a little spreadsheet of some really cool climbs to do in Europe. So John has a blog. Yes, some people still do read. So it's a blog, not a vlog. And it's called, I believe, 60-plus-time-trialing. And he's got a ton of articles in there. And so what he's done is taken, I think it's Mountain High. It's all about climbing. I think that's what it's called. It's a book anyways on the top 50 climbs in Europe. So these are all the iconic climbs, the ones that you see at the Giro, the Vuelta, the Tour de France, and other races. They're all there. And it's a ton of climbing. Like, I think the total climbing amount was like 800,000 meters. And the crazy thing is some people can do this. I think John's done all of these climbs before. He did say in his article that he's going to reclimb them. So I'm just guessing he's done it, which is pretty impressive. So if you go to his 60-plus time trialing, and I will put a link in the bottom. So when you look at the video comments now, I'm going to have something down below called the show notes from now on. So I'm going to try to compile like all the interesting things, okay, maybe just interesting to me, that I've talked about, and give you little links there. So maybe if you're interested in learning more about it, maybe the bears, maybe the wolves, the Cantabrians, Asturias, perhaps 60-plus time trialing, you can click on the link there and it'll take you to where you need to go. I did check out the article more in detail yesterday. And if you look in the bottom right-hand corner on the main page of the article, there'll be a follow button. It's kind of like a subscribe button. And just as I guess a personal request from me, because John's been so supportive of me, if you could give John a follow there, join his articles. I think there's a lot of great content to read about. And he's provided the spreadsheet for you to go do all these climbs. So he's kind of gone and done something that I've always think about doing. I've made these spreadsheets before, like I'm going to do all the climbs in this country, whatever it may be, or this area. I go on Rouvy, I start compiling it all, then I throw it out. So he's gone and collected all the climbs. So you're going to see the name of the climb, length, climbing meters, elevation, and then the actual Rouvy link. And I think a few of them were only on full gas, but do what you can, right? It'd be a pretty good challenge to take on, like a real challenge. I assume that all of them have videos. Maybe some are only map mode. If they're only map mode, just do them. I've done a few map mode rides on Rouvy. Once you get into it and you just kind of watch the terrain going by, that's all that's available. I think sometimes it's very hard to get quality videos filmed. You got to imagine someone has to be out here doing this. Like in this case, you can just catch the shadow of the camera car. And this video is filmed at an awesome speed. Everything looks realistic to me. It's not too fast. It's not too slow. Remember, the playback speed is relative to how fast the video is filmed at. Too fast, it's not going to look good. Too slow, it's not going to look good. So it has to be almost a perfect speed. Now, let's imagine you're doing that and you got a bunch of traffic. You got construction on the road. Well, okay, that's that one screwed up. Let's try it again in a week from now when there's no one on the road. So I don't think it's as easy to film as we all like to believe it is. Just coming up to a little bit of a flat stretch here. Looks like the gradient's going to just back off a little bit. And then just a couple more kickers, couple flats, and we'll be done. I like to do these kinds of climbs because I know they're generally, let's just say, if I want a 45 to 50 minute workout, this is what I'm looking for. 500 to 600 meters of climbing, as long as it's not too steep. So don't be afraid of these numbers. I know when I started on Rouvy, I was horrified of climbing. I would see climbs that would be, routes that would be defined as flat, and they would have 230 meters of climbing, and I would just walk away. Like, I can't do that. That's too much climbing. Now it's just like, well, that's nothing. So it's just about being consistent on the bike and taking on these climbs and just doing them day after day after day, and you will get stronger and stronger on the bike. So again, here we're coming up to some steeper stuff. You can see the profile on the bottom of the screen. Looks like we've climbed just over 400 meters here, so I know the end is near. It's at 11%, but it's not too bad here. Still maintaining right under 3 watts per kilo. It's looking pretty good here. I got my 4 friends with me, the 4 ghosties. I find that, I've said in a video earlier, I never used to ride with the ghosts. Now I love riding with them. It's just a little bit of motivation and just that tiny, tiny bit of watt savings. Whenever I can draft, I'll take it. I figure it's real enough. It's not a huge draft. It's just a few watts here and there, but it's motivating to just have you nearby. Hey, awesome Land Cruiser on the side of the road there. Do you see it? Or is that a Land Rover? I think I might have said that name wrong. Like the ultimate. It's a Landy. But looked like I don't know if it was a 110 or not. Awesome vehicles. You see a lot of them in this part of the world. Like kind of like the ultimate 4x4, I think. Maybe they're just a little bit underpowered. I looked at buying one years ago. British guy that moved to Canada, military guy, and said that I think it was at our Cold Lake military testing ground, it was the Landies that were always on the move. The American trucks stuck in the ditches, couldn't get out. The Landy would never get stuck, though. I guess it's a Land Rover, isn't it? I think those are the ones that went, the first vehicle that ever traveled all around the world, like down through the Amazon there. There's that crossing. I should remember all this stuff. I got too much in my brain right now. Just trucking along here, moving away from my ghosts a little bit. Again, just going to jump back again here. Check out John's article. Oh, cows on the road. Watch out for them. 60 plus time trialing. He puts a lot of effort into it. It's obvious. And I can appreciate anyone that puts an effort into their passion. Obviously, he's very passionate about cycling. So why don't we give him a little push and give him a little support and follow his articles, his blog. I think that's pretty easy to do. Gives you a little late night reading, and they don't look like long reads, nice short little articles you can dig into. So there's lots of these cool climbs that live out there on Rouvy land. They're just kind of hidden away. You just got to do some digging. I did put a video out, maybe it was in December, about using map search, and that's how I find all these things. You're not going to find these things generally just browsing through the main app. You need to get into map search and just start looking around. Zoom in on an area, zoom in on a country, and see if there's a video route there. What I generally do is first search for all routes, then I'll turn on the video filter. Okay, cool, that's good. How about AR routes? That's what I really want. Obviously, this is an AR route. You have the avatars in front of you. That's the difference between an AR route and a non-AR. You got avatars. So you can turn virtual partners on and see them on screen. So I'm just zooming in looking. So what's cool about this one too is there's another good climb from the south side up to La Colladonna. Hope I said that right. I couldn't find the video. I looked for a map route, everything, because kind of like when I find a climb I like to do, I want to make sure I've kind of conquered it. And I've said it before, take the Stelvio. If you've done the Stelvio, there's 3 routes to do to say you've really conquered it. There's a route, 2 routes in Italy, and 1 route that comes from the Swiss side. They're all on Rouvy. You can find them. They're great to ride. So I like to actually make myself little challenges where I kind of do all of them. Kind of mix it up a little bit, right? So we're coming to the end here. We're not that far now. We're going to hit a little flat section. We've almost done all the climbing. Again, I appreciate everyone watching these videos. My name's Colin. The channel now is known as Inside Cycling World, obviously because I do 100% of my cycling inside. I'm going to try to get out this year for a couple of little adventures. If I can sign up for an event and go do it outside, I'm going to capture it all and make some good videos about it. But anyway, Inside Cycling World, subscribe if you like the videos, and we'll see you again soon.